Alright, so I'm still recovering from a broken collarbone, but I thought I would try to do a simple task, or hopefully it's simple. This board here is a Pong clone that was made by Allied Leisure, called Paddle Battle. I've worked on these before in the past, so I've already got a harness that will work with it. And I bought this on eBay for what I consider to be a pretty good price. And I'm going to try to fix it. I know there's missing parts. It's got 3 chips missing. I'm missing a chip there. And I looked that one up. That one is a 7402. I'm missing one here, which is a 74161 or a 9616, a Fairchild 9616, but a 74161 will work there. And then this is an inverter chip that's missing. So I'm going to install sockets first and put the chips that are missing in and see if we got anything. Alright, so I've got 3 sockets installed and the chips installed. The 7404 inverter, I believe, is part of the clock circuit. This is a 7402, which is a quad NOR gate, and this is a 161 4-bit counter. I'm not sure what these two things are for, but I'm pretty sure that's a clock. So I'm going to turn it on and I'm going to check the voltage, make sure we got proper voltage on the chips. Voltmeter's there. Have to do this one-handed. All right. We got 5.37. I got the polarity backwards. All right, 5.4 volts. That'll be fine. We'll just leave it right there. Okay, we've got nothing on the screen that I can see. Now, this harness was wired with a composite signal. I didn't add a separate sync signal for this. I made this a long time ago, apparently. I've since started putting a separate sync wire so I can get a good, clear signal like on this harness. See, I've got that wire there. That's for the sync, where I can clip on it directly and get a good, clean picture that way. I should still get a picture on the screen, but I can't find my screwdriver. There he is. All right, so now I'm going to try to adjust the monitor. Let's try adjusting the, where's the brightness at? Right there. See if turning that up gives me any picture at all. This board may be dead. I'm having a hard time. My shoulder is broke still. Kind of painful to use, but I'm going to manage here. Okay, there's nothing going on. There's no signal. Do I smell something burning? Let me feel around, see if anything's getting hot. Not feeling anything. Okay, so this is one of those we're going to have to start at step 1. Normally the power would be supplied by an AC voltage coming in through the connector. I think it's like a 10 volt AC. There'd be a 5 volt regulator here. There's some rectifier diodes here to rectify the AC coming in. This would rectify the unrectified, which would be heavily filtered by this large capacitor by a TO3 type device, which would be a 5 volt regulator. Don't need it. I'm bypassing it. I'm using my switching power supply that's right there. It's going to supply 5 volts, and it's supplying it through an output port actually. That would be used as a voltage reference for the controllers. So voltage is good. This board should be running. I should have a signal, but I don't. So it's square one with it. All right. So I was mistaken. This adapter that I made is for a Williams Winner 2-player Pong game. This is an Allied Leisure. I thought it would be the same, but it's not. The power input looks to be correct. It looks to be the same, but power as far as the 5 volts goes, and the grounds. But the signal, the video signal is coming out, according to this schematic here, the video signal is coming out at pin 4, going to the TV. And if I look at pin 4, I have a video signal. See that? Oh. I have a video signal. Now that should be displaying on the screen, but I'm not getting anything. But then when I trace the wire for pin 4, it goes to the controller. So this pinout is different than what is needed for this board, right? This harness is different than what is needed for this board. I may not have a harness for this, so but I can still get around it. Let me search. I thought maybe I did have one, but I think maybe it was this one is what I was thinking of. All right, well anyway, let me see what I can come up with. Well, I was looking around trying to find the connector for paddle battle, and I probably built one because I have a whole stack of these boards that I've repaired, but I don't know what I did with the connector, the test harness. But while I was looking, I found an old one for breakout that I made, and recently I remade this because I couldn't find this one. So I'm thinking I'm going to repurpose this one and make it work for paddle battle, since I've already got a better cable than this one for breakout. This one would just supply power and video, and the controls I didn't bother to hook up, and coin door and stuff like that. So let me repurpose this to work with this and see if I can get it running. All right, so I've got that harness converted. Got some extra wires here that aren't needed. This board does not have a serve button or anything like that. It doesn't have a start button or anything. It has a coin switch, and that's it. Now I've hooked this up to what is indicated as a slam switch because it doesn't make sense. So this coin relay is a normally closed switch. Normally that would be a slam switch. Well, it's labeled coin relay. Down here they've got a slam switch, but it's a normally open, normally closed. So I think this is mislabeled. So I wired this coin switch here, thinking this is going to be the coin switch. If I'm wrong, then this game won't start. But yeah, I mean, that's how a slam switch works. It's normally closed, and then when you hit the coin door, there's a weight on the switch, and it opens it temporarily, and then it does a reset. So coin switch, that's what it has to be in my mind. So I've got it all hooked up. Let's see what it does. Get the voltmeter and check the voltages. We're getting something on the screen, but it's not right. All right, let me look over here. Ground goes here. Whoop. Ground there, 5 volts there. And I'm reading 5.4 volts. I can't really, I'm kind of screwed up here. Got too much going on. Let me move this over here so you guys can see the voltage with me. All right, so this is going to be reverse polarity. So negative 5.3, which is actually positive because I got it backwards. Let me swap it, get it right. There, 5.3 volts. So that should be fine for operating this board. Look at that. There's nothing going on the screen. Well, it's getting a signal of some type. Let's try the brightness first. I'm not seeing anything. Horizontal hold. It basically looks like there's not a strong signal there. It's getting some sort of signal for the sync, but it's not strong enough. It's not consistent, it doesn't look like. Adjusting that doesn't seem to be doing much. All right, well anyway, there's where we're starting. First thing I need to do is check the sync chain and get that stabilized. Once I get that, then maybe I'll get a picture. I'll be back. All right, so at the beginning of the clock generator here, we have a good signal coming out of the phase lock loop here, and we have a good signal coming off of this. This guy, on the other hand, doesn't look good at all. Pin 3, let me find that pin 3. Right here, that's pin 3. I'm sorry, hold on. This one. That's pin 3, and you can see there's a bit of a signal there. There's a bit of a signal there, but the complement, which is pin 2, is not connecting anything, and it's high all the time. So that's suspicious. What's going on there? Well, when you look at pin 1 and 4, which are inputs supposed to be tied to high, that's what it looks like. That's supposed to be tied to 5 volts, through a pull-up. So both of those inputs look the same, and I'm talking about the JK inputs here. With them both being high, that makes it act like a D latch or something. So this note says here it's tied to B+, which is going to be 5 volts through a 1K resistor. It doesn't say where the 1K resistor is located. There's not many resistors on here. I did find this one here. Whoop, this one right here. It's this side's 5 volts, so you can see it's 5 volts, and this side looks weird, but it doesn't look the same as pin 3 on that flip-flop. That's what the pin 1 on the flip-flop. That's what it looks like there. So it's a little bit stronger signal than this. It might be the same, I don't know. I don't know yet. So why is it doing that? Is the resistor bad or is something else going on? Now there's a couple of other pull-ups here. That one pulls up strong to 5 volts. And this one does not pull up at all. It's low all the time. So not sure if the resistors are bad or what that is. Now these look like they're close to some 555s or something. Can't tell what the part number is. Those are probably 555s. That may have something to do with triggering on that or something, so they might not be intended as a pull-up per se. All right, so I guess what I'm going to do is I'm going to check all these resistors to see if the values make sense. If they're all good, then that means something is loading that resistance down. But yeah, we've got a weird signal coming in, and it's not strong enough to make a sync signal, and plus it's just wrong. So let me keep probing around. Well, I did figure out that this resistor here was supplying the pull-up for the 107 flip-flop chip that had the weird signal on the pull-up. When I jumper across it, that basically makes that pin 5 volts. So when I do that, I get an image, kind of. It's not syncing, but you can see that there's zeros and a paddle or a ball moving around. Uh-oh. Did something just die? Interesting. Yeah, so I might have just burned up something by shorting that. Now I'm getting nothing. Let me cycle the power and see what happens. Ooh, came up briefly, didn't it? Okay. But it's... Alright, so something is not liking it. Something is dying. But at least we got further. Let me continue. Well, I pulled the 107 out. I put a socket in its place, but when you look at this resistor, the signal still looks messed up. So it's not that chip, it's something else that's connected to this resistor. So I'm going to need to trace that all the way through the circuit board and figure out where it goes to and try to figure out which chip is giving me the trouble. That's going to take a while. Alright, so I figured out what the problem was with that pull-up resistor. I didn't hook up the coin switch correct. Alright, now that I've got it hooked up correctly, that signal's high all the time, and I am getting play now. The sync is too weak to trigger the color monitor as a composite signal. So I'm going to need to figure out how to amplify that sync signal or break out a separate wire for the sync. Let me see what I can figure out. I soldered a wire to where I think the the horizontal sync signal is coming from, and I've put a 1 kilo ohm resistor in there to give me some of the horizontal signal to the video signal. And when I do that, it's syncing horizontally, but vertically it's not. So I don't know if this board would work in an old TV set, because these things used old Hitachi black and white TV sets. So this may work in that, or there could still be a problem. I need to probe some more, but it's getting late, so I'm going to stop for tonight. But I need to come up with a better solution than this, because this is not really sustainable. But I think we still have a problem, because the ball speed vertically is weird at times. See how it's going real fast and then goes slow? And it looks like there's no horizontal boundary at the top or the bottom of the screen. So there's a couple of problems that need to be resolved. Now if I start a game, what happens? It clears the scores, it serves the ball, and it scores, okay? I don't hear any sounds though. Don't hear any sound, so I got to check that out. So there's no audio and there's no sync really, and I don't know if that's a problem or if it's just the way it is. All right, well, that's it for tonight. That's as far as I can go with this. Thanks for watching.